did, eh?
I think the plan at the end of the session was for you guys to have like finished what you needed to do before you planned to rest, and then you guys are resting through the night, or I think you guys are resting through until it maybe got dark, so you could have some more cover because it was still daytime.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if it was long rest, short rest you guys were trying to take, but I do believe it would have been end of rest as we resume.
I think we needed, someone needed a specific amount of time to be able to cast
I think Solitude only needed a short rest to cast the teleport.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but didn't we rule out the teleportation?
It's basically not the teleportation circle on the ship, but we're going to go elsewhere to a close by destination.
Okay, I'm only asking because we have time. We have time now. Mm-hmm. Why did we want to go to Xendrik?
I think the main reason it came up was, like initially it came up because it was the closest place to where you guys are actually at right now. And it was like
shit, it is
on the coast of the Thunder Sea there, so it's not too far away. But I do remember there was a few people that were interested. I can't exactly remember. Maybe some people out there can help me out. There was some people that were interested in going there for various reasons. I know dragon shards was one of the things mentioned. Some people knew that there were dragon shards there and that they could go there to get them.
Did it turn out our stolen airship was down there too, or was that something else?
I think Solitude may be our missing link here too, because I think she had a reason to go there.
Yeah,
the lore master.
The ship's teleportation circle's booby trapped.
Yeah, at the moment, not going to be a good place to teleport into.
Thank you, whoever had the divination that kept us all.
Yeah, that was Fallon, right? Is it Phelan? That's how you pronounce your name?
Phelan.
Phelan.
It's easy for me. My niece's name is Shaylin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You go under the water in Tailspire, the sound changes.
Yeah, someone noticed that last session. It was like, ooh, it's bubbling. I was like, when I found that out, I got so excited too. Whoops. Rolling dice over here.
Ring of Storms, Pyramid of Ebon Flame, Obsidian City. The Storm Reach is a fairly busy port then, right? It's like the capital of Xendrik?
Yeah, and Xantash is not necessarily like a small city. It's small in comparison to places like Sharn and places like Stormreach, of course, major capitals, but it's still a pretty robust like pirate town. And these people are nearby, like the Shard Fields. Blue would know this, and he's pretty versed in the lands, and I think he'd be able to tell you guys that nearby to Xantash is lots of available dragon shards that just are like scattered out the land, that have literally fallen from the sky there in just dense quantities. The only problem is it's the wildlands, so there's really not like good maps of where to go. It's very thick, dense trees and jungle, so it's hard to get through at times. You're often walking around with a machete just cutting through to make space to walk. And and you can find yourself quickly, surrounded by unfriendly residents if you don't know exactly where to go or where to walk. But there's also small civilized gatherings and areas nearby there, like of not so friendly people as well. UNTs, you know that there's a pretty dense population of UNTs
Uh-oh.
in Xendrik. And
Like
reason
drought?
being, they scattered from Argoness, and that's where they came from too. There was like a big war between them and the dragons back then. And a lot of them are there now, and most of them are like worshippers of the Devourer. And he's one of the Dark Six, so one of those evil six that we were talking about in the evil six pantheon of gods. So not like exactly a beautiful and lush place like it looks like. It does have some dark secrets hidden out there in the jungles.
And Xendrik is home to the mark of, is it finding the bounty hunters or the treasure hunters?
Yes, Xendrik is home of House Thrask, and they are basically bounty hunters, mercenaries. They compete in that regard with House Neath.
Gotcha.
But in terms of like who rules the roost in the southern hemisphere and on the continent of Xendrik, it would definitely be House Thrask. They do have a pretty good hold over Corvair too, for that matter. As far as the monster hunting or bounty hunting market goes, but there's just a lot more to be hunted down here, I guess I would say.
It's probably good business in shipping dinos and stuff to wealthy people who want to pet the raptor.
Dinos and diamonds. That's like on the flag or something. Yeah, this is a fun one. This is a cool place. But you guys are, probably
this is fun.
reading your laminated map, thinking about this. Underwater.
Bluey has a little pop-up map coming out of his fist. A hollow map.
The hollow map just glowing.
Well,
in his
yeah,
hand.
Bluey's hollow tech is very, very cool. my wizard's impressed by that for sure. How is he doing that without magic?
Why would you assume it's not just magic?
Yeah, it probably is a good assumption. Because I don't see him cast anything. He just does it.
True.
Is MGW playing today?
GMW is also going to be a little bit late, it seems like. I have not heard back from John. I hope everything's okay. But I will expect him to probably be missing or absent at least. Or tardy, I should say. Missing and absent are the same thing.
The Kraken took him away.
Yep. Or perhaps the Devourer, if he left early to Xantash without you guys.
The merman worships the Kraken, right? But he didn't say the Kraken was evil.
No, but surprisingly, the Kraken and the Devourer kind of sound very similar. I mean, the Devourer is supposed to be this massive underwater beast, and the Kraken's a massive underwater beast. There's not like a ton of like, oh yeah, he looks like this. It's like, it's like Jesus. We have lots of depictions of what Jesus could look like and could not look like. This guy, he's an interesting character. And
Different iterations of gods, I guess, for different cultures.
Yeah. It's not many people nowadays have seen him is the problem.
Especially not many landlubbers.
And
that
even his
us.
worshippers underneath the water, they wouldn't be graced a god-like presence like that, unless for maybe some sort of special divine reason. So, to say what he looks like or what it actually is, there's tons and tons of myths. Like, some say he's just a gigantic, whatever this creature is. I can never remember the name of this aquatic species in D&D for some reason, and it's terrible. But I will get it.
Aboleth? Leviathan? There's a few more big ones.
It's not. No.
I gotta say, though, Aboleths are my favorite. Personal favorite.
Something told me to just write this down in my notes too when I came across it. I was like, oh, that's what they are. Yes, that's the one I was looking for. God damn it, I can't remember it. Basically, they have like gills around their face. I mean, they look a lot like this guy. This guy is more of a merfolk, but they look a lot like him. I suppose you could say he looks like a massive merfolk. Some people think it's a massive serpent that lives under the water. Others say it's just an all-devouring force of the water itself.
Well, Percy's a snack.
Yeah, I don't like big monsters like that. All the freaking sea gods and goddesses always have an aspect like that, too. You know what I mean?
What were you saying, Percy?
I said I'm a snack for like a small shark, so.
You're the appetizer.
Yeah, quick one.
Yeah. Maybe they wouldn't even notice me.
Yeah, it could probably be used to your advantage. That's half the reason smaller races get advantage of fighting giant creatures.
Isn't that like a feat, like a what do they call it?
It may be now. It used to be a thing for like dwarves and giants. That was kind of the thing, but
giant slayer.
Yeah. They're so low to the ground. They're hard to like hit. You gotta use your stomp or whatever. Although I'm sure more than a few dwarves got crushed that way. Stay close to their feet, they can't hit you.
Well, I think I would assume at this point that Solitude would, if
might
you
join
guys
us
are
later.
awoken, probably want to, take the action that she had planned on and get you guys to this summoning circle that she knows of.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I know this spell too, and he could, if he did, or she did, teach me the sigil order as well. But, yeah, he can burn his 5th level slot on that, not me. But if I have to, I can too. If we still, but it's kind of awkward if I don't talk to Solitude first.
It's bad it's not a ritual spell.
Oh yeah, you could just start casting it now. Get it ready.
I kind of wish I had a black light. I got these. I paid for a set of mystery dice, and they're like precious stone, and I think they react to blacklight where they glow orange, I think, after And it's sitting here beside me, and I wish I had a black light to test.
Because this is a permanent circle for Solitude, it's going to be an automatic success. There's really not much to it in terms of her casting it. She can cast it instantly, and up to 8 willing creatures that she chooses are going to go to this summoning circle. So whenever you guys are ready, we can go there.
I am ready.
Yes, get me off the bottom of this ocean bed, please. Thank you.
Blah, 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 blah.
The spell instantly transports you, and one moment you're underwater, the next you find yourself floating for a moment, just a moment, and then instantly you feel your feet hit surface again. And it's a uncomfortable but strangely thrilling feeling. And as you arrive back, I'm going to load your unique minis back here.
Ooh, it's so cool. What happens if like public teleportation circles are like multiple groups trying to
Call waiting.
Yeah, you get a busy signal.
Go to voicemail.
Percy suddenly pops out of one of the people waiting in the teleportation circle.
That was uncomfortable. We just met. I saw his liver. It was like a gelatinous cube. Alright, let's see here. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 8. We got Percy, we got Singe, we got Zamriel, we got Garrett, we got Phelan, we got Solitude, Bluey.
Oh, well, this place is a breath of fresh air.
As you look all around you, you can see that this is absolutely a breath of fresh air. There's land all around you, which is the most comforting thing that you see.
I chose my words carefully.
Well, you do see water, in the distance. You could see that you're on like the coast somewhere. Presumably Xantash and Xendrik, your destination, of course. You stand on a beautiful platform, ornately designed, and you can see like ritualistic paintings that have been, carefully painted onto all of the sculpture, which looks ancient from what you can see. But the paintings have seemingly livened the place up, give you the more modern look. And as you look across the city, you can see that this is much the architecture. It's been repainted with some sort of, acrylic plastic style like shine to it, and it really glows beautifully in that firelight. Obviously, some sort of culturistic practice or restoration of the ruins themselves.
I'm gonna have to exit out and jump back in. My Tailspire's acting weird.
Mm-hmm. This place might have a little bit more requirements on your hardware than the last one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just can't find my mini.
Oh, hold the tab button and then look for some text. All the minis will have names. If it hasn't been assigned, hasn't been assigned to you, you can't do it. But
Yeah, that's weird. It
you can't
seems
click on
like they may have lost their assignments.
Well, oh,
Even
I
though
just
the,
clicked on mine.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. I just clicked
Okay,
on
I
mine
found
and
it.
it
I found
assigned
it.
it to me. What was that?
Okay, I found it.
Mine wasn't assigned. It wasn't. I didn't see the assignment box, and then I clicked on it and it assigned it.
I think that's what did it. Maybe you just need to click on your
That's what
name
I'm
in the top
saying.
left
Well,
corner.
I'm just mentioning it's because if we could activate our own minis like that, it would save you like 5 steps
Well, I
every time
think
we.
that that's how it's supposed to work with unique minis. Like they all belong
Yeah,
to
that's
you.
what I'm
I've
saying.
actually
I didn't know
pulled
that.
those minis from the last map we were on, so they're no longer on that
Right.
map if we go back there. So that's
So it
why it's
probably
supposed
was
to
still
belong to
assigned.
you.
It just wasn't showing up.
Yeah, it could be just a glitch,
Okay.
and you clicking on it
Yeah.
got it out of its glitch.
Gotcha.
So if that happens, good thing to do, I guess, is click on your name in the left side panel where you see all the character names. And hopefully you regain control of your mini. If not,
Yeah,
tell
without the
me.
mini assigned though, that's not there. Or
Yeah.
without the box was just missing. I had to click on it in
Oh,
the
you had to
game
click on
space.
the character. I see.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah.
click on the character, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you can't find the character, that can be difficult without that little box.
Yeah, that's why I said use tab. Just hold tab and then look around. You should see it paints the. Oh, you got to be kind of close actually.
Yeah, and I can drop like a sphere and
There you
get you honed in on where you're at. You guys are all right here right now. If any of you are still looking around this big map.
It's so huge.
I'm
This is
enjoying looking around
fantastic.
it as well.
I mean, again, Jan, it never ceases to amaze me, this thing. We've been playing for months, and just every time, it's just this is great.
Yeah, it's a great map. I like it. It's got depth to it, you know. I'm sure we'll find that out for ourselves soon enough.
Glad you guys like it. Glad you guys like it. It is the labor of love, and it looks like the city is relatively empty from what you can see. You see a couple of small like cargo ships passing through that small canal just to your right, and just behind you, is the Thunder Sea, and in front of you lies the city, and deep beyond it is just like a massive jungle scape. And it is thick and thick and thick for miles and miles and miles, as you could probably see on the map. It's pretty green. But immediately beyond the city is this shard field. And Bluey makes mention of that kind of as he's pointing out these things to you guys. Go ahead, shoot. Sorry.
Is Prince Orgev still with us?
Yes, and I forgot to load his mini.
He didn't make the teleportation. Oh, no, I just meant to ask if you needed Avray to be participating or not.
I did, and I totally should have made you guys make that decision about whether it was going to be Vismir or Prince Orgev, just to be evil and cruel, but I'm going to say that the teleportation circle is big enough for 9 people.
Yep, he was willing and let him come. Whatever. That's how it's good enough.
Hey, Vismir, you have all your limbs. Congratulations.
I sat on Solitude's shoulders. It's fine.
The only way it would be weird is if the creature wasn't willing and be like, "What the hell?"
Thank you for asking that too, Brian. I completely forgot about Orgev. And
Oh yeah.
on top of that, I think Phelan had a question as well.
Oh, it was just about Avery.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you're good. If we needed to crunch the numbers, we could have left the priest in the water. He would have been the best one to leave behind.
Agreed. But he said 9 or 9 came, so it's cool.
And he's looking longingly at the water right now.
Yeah. Cinna's gonna look at the foliage and like she's never seen it before, like she's never seen plant life, and she's gonna say, "The jungle. I've heard much about this place, and if you're correct, Bluey." And she turns to Prince Orgev and she says, "This must be exactly what you're looking for. I remember records of our initial mission were to get you shards, the dragon shards."
Yes, this is a place we can definitely do just that, though we must tread with caution. These lands are wild, untraveled and uncharted. We must be careful.
Excuse my ignorance, but what will you do with the dragon shards once you have them?
I believe it is necessary to more so find places like this and shut down any trade possibilities with that of the Lord of Blades. As for the ones that we reap for our own purposes, they have many, many different functions, dragon shards, though it depends on what type you are in search of. Here we may find Sybaris shards in great abundance, and those themselves may amplify magic. Combining them with magical items may cause an item to become stronger. Or, if you are like myself, ingesting them.
Zamiel makes an oh face.
You ingest these shards. I've never heard of that application.
Sounds.
That would explain your ability to spontaneously cast various magics. And Zamiel kind of leans on his staff and gets comfortable as he takes in his environs and says, "But if we're going to commit to dragon shard heists, I won't be leaving without procuring one for myself at least." And then he looks at the party and says, "For research purposes."
The benefit of being a Warforged. You are magically imbued already. It is a natural process for us. He says this is like almost though it's like akin to him eating something, for a fleshling.
Really blurs the line between a magical item and magical being, doesn't it? An interesting train of thought, to say the least. And the wizard kind of retreats into his thoughts, pondering the implications of all of this.
Well, Bluey, oh, go ahead.
Just saying, Bluey's starting to subtly suggest that he's going to be ingesting dragon shards for purposes unknown, likely to magically imbue himself with some sort of power. Because dragon shards are just that. They're just raw magical power. They're literally the dried blood of a dragon, and not just that, but the fossilized dried blood of a dragon. And most of the magic is still relatively preserved in that matter. And I think Bluey is trying to hint at something, that he is preparing for something, or preparing the vessel that he is for something.
I understand our previous group was in the possession of a lot of Kyber shards. Would you likewise benefit in ingesting them?
I have some for my own purpose. My interest right now lies in Sybaris shards.
Well, I guess we should be on our way then. I don't think I put up a picture of Zengorn yet. Let me put one up. For anybody interested.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I never put up a picture of my character for anybody interested.
That's awesome.
She looks like she means business.
Nice.
Thank you, sir.
She looks like she's in a waiting room ready to kick some ass.
Yeah,
She's been kept waiting too long.
it's been about, 3 months?
That is awesome.
All right, so I guess, do we know the direction that we need to head in? Or are we looking for someone to show us where to go?
Bluey's like, I expected ambassadors. Most teleportation circles are well guarded. This is indeed strange. Perhaps
I
we
guess
should
we should
start.
stay on our guard.
Perhaps we should start in the ports. He points down. You can see that there's kind of like some traffic bustling in the ports, but everybody looks relatively busy. Across or above that is like what looks to be some sort of a open market, although it looks like pretty shanty. There's a few tents and tarps and things like that. Only a few permanent buildings. But just to your left and basically on the same side of the canal that you're on currently, you see that the structures kind of continue getting bigger and going higher the further and deeper you go into the city that direction. So basically away from the port. Looks to be like more noble part of town or richer part of town. You also could see some sort of large church-like area, and just to your left, you can see there's some sort of like idol or obelisk. It is a grand-looking structure. I mean, it's nothing like anything you've seen in Corvair. Everything here looks just so different. Is the biggest thing that strikes you, I think, for those of you that have never been to Xendrik before or across continent, which I'm gonna assume is all of you.
Yeah.
Because I've never been here either.
Talk about this thing right here.
Mm-hmm. And as you look up
Is there
at
any...
it, you can kind of make out that it's just like it looks like, two straight, like pillars or columns. There's a gigantic ring atop it, and some sort of strange symbols marked all on the inside.
Would any of us recognize the symbols?
I don't think so. Based on what I did on my character research, I'm going to say no. But if it comes up that any of you know this language, then that's my bad.
I'm pretty sure Phelan wouldn't be one of those guys who knew.
But if you want, you guys can roll. Any of you guys who see this can roll. Let's see here. We're going to say history. I'm sorry for those of you that don't like history and have a weak history.
If I want to make a check, is it exclamation point? Yeah, check.
Oh, well, I think that'll do it.
That will do it, yeah.
Wow.
An Avre.
It's all new to Phelan.
Yeah, even without a modifier, that check would have passed probably.
Plus 9 history. You crazy?
It's got some proficiencies and some expertise.
Holy cow. I love it.
Your 28 history check will probably tell you that the language that is on the wall is not Orcish, but like the dead Orc language.
Ooh.
The root of Daraktan.
Ooh, something dark and magic-y. Okay, yeah. That makes sense why I'd probably recognize it. It sounds like something that would come up in magical research and stuff like that. Hell yeah.
And so you get the feeling that there may be some orcs that live here, or at least half orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zamiel, as we walk, informs the party about the symbols' connotations and relations to the evil magic orcs, and that they're dangerous. And
Interesting they would have these circle.
The local reeve here is a half-orc humanoid named Duth Veldaren. He is a cunning opportunist from what I have heard of him. He doesn't help those unless he sees gold in it. As my phone makes a cool dinging noise that sounds like someone just got paid. I did not get paid.
it was not me.
It was not me. It was my wife telling me that she's at TJ Maxx. And from what Bluey knows of him, all he really knows is that he's a representative of House Thrask. Not sure how high up, but he knows that he's basically the effective ruler of this city. He controls most of the trade that comes in and out of the city.
Is he personally familiar with him?
No, unfortunately.
Just knows. Okay.
So he doesn't have a way to necessarily probably make acquaintance with him right away. But it might not be hard to do that, depending on, I guess, how lax the security is here. I imagine that adventurers and people are going to be like the last thing that a leader in this kind of an area is going to be afraid of. So it probably won't be threatened by you, but it may be hard to make acquaintance with them all the same. Bluey has no idea where he's at or how busy he is, and kind of makes mention of this as he starts sort of just following along with the group. I'm going to try and not grab people that aren't people I'm supposed to grab, but I might do that. I got 5 people. That's what I'm supposed to have.
Just like a little package deal, you just move them all.
Mm-hmm. These are my peeps.
Where are 2?
Bluey begins to walk up the steps to kind of get a better view of just things all around him. And as he makes it to the top of the steps, he disappears. Because I went out of view.
That's interesting.
But he's still there. He just for a moment walks out of your vision, walks underneath the massive obelisk and looks up. And on the other end, he points up to show you that there is a massive serpent's head sticking out of the other side. Only revealed once you kind of make it to the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know what the text says, but I imagine it has something to do with him. He points up at the serpent's head.
Yep, that tracks. I just effects like that make me nervous sometimes, especially when they're by surprise.
Oh,
Best to stay on your guard then.
that looks like a church if I've ever seen one. He points across to what looks like a small, congregation almost. You see a few beautiful sculpted old columns with what looks like crystalline eggs. And they look like they're carved crystals, but they've been carved into a beautiful shape of what looks like dragon eggs. I almost just vanished someone.
Zamiel will speak some words and wave his staff around him and activate his magic arm or mage armor. I will be on my guard.
I feel like the architecture is just very intimidating for anybody coming to this town.
I lost my connection briefly, and I'm just going to take a precaution, do something real quick so that doesn't happen again. Just bear with me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back.
No worries.
I'm going to step away from
Yeah.
Okay, that should prevent all future calamities from occurring.
Oh, good.
All right.
Getting the board loaded back up because it looks like it crashed on me. And that should be Xantask and summon players. Awesome. I think where we left off, Blue was walking down into the platform area where there was that congregation going on.
Yes.
It looks like there's just a small orc priest, and looks like some sort of maybe yeah, from this distance, looks like a half orc, half human, heavily tattooed, and his clothing is pretty primitive, as is most of the priest's clothing. Though he's got several pieces of jewelry and lots of different paint on his face and things like that.
And what do they appear to be doing?
The priest himself looks like he's deep in prayer. His head is bowed, and the orc that's standing behind him isn't kneeling like the priest is, but he's standing there with his head sort of tilted down, chin on his chest, and he does see you and takes notice and looks like he's mildly interested, but then draws his attention back to the priest. The priest is saying something in Orcish, if any of you can understand Orcish, and it's like a soft whisper almost. It's not really like a sermon that he's casting out or calling out. It sounds like he's having a private prayer, perhaps maybe for this gentleman that's standing behind him.
Does it seem like we're interrupting?
I think we're interrupting.
Yeah, Bluey kind of standing there timidly, like not wanting to interrupt. He like takes like a standing position on the outside of the platform.
I think Phelan will probably kneel, just in a kneeling, sitting position, and just wait.
Or maybe sit on a pew and wait.
As you sit down, the small little orc priest, he turns to you and he nods in some sort of form of appreciation, it looks like. The look on his face at least suggests that. He's happy to see you here. And he begins to do the same, kind of like in a almost like if you ever throw a stone across the water, when it skips that first time, it really skips, and then it sort of just fades out slowly. Each skip gets a little smaller, a little bit less defined, a little smaller ripple. That's what his nods are like to the rest of the party as well. They sort of are still seeming a little bit reserved, in order of who's most distant from him.
Then we'll probably mistakenly take that as a call to sit down next to Percy.
And Phelan will also just kneeling, sitting position.
May Kalakshash guide you, friends, says the orc. Welcome. You are most welcome. All are welcome here. This is a place of peace and refuge. One of the few that you may find in Zantashk. I see that you are armed. No, you must not raise weapons here in this house. It is strictly forbidden. Those who disobey will be stricken down by Kalakshash.
I will
However,
kind of. Oh,
you may bask in his glory while you are here.
do I first of all know who Kalikshosh is? Like, I'm not worshiping some dark god here, am I?
Let's see here. Why don't you also roll a history check here? I think that's like the best way to know a character. Just random history checks to
Yes.
decide what you know.
If I'm using Avre, do I use exclamation roll or exclamation check if I just want to do history?
I think you
It's
could do exclamation
right?
check. Yeah, exclamation check and then whatever the check is. Yep,
Okay, cool.
cool. And I'm going to say that let me ask you this. Did you study religion at any point as a character? Would you say your character at any point? And I mean, this could be like, have you even decided to look at one piece of religious thing in your life?
I mean, I'm a cleric, so yes.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment. This is a god of the Gashkala, and they were like a clan, or actually really a conglomerate of clans of orcs that fought back the evils of the demon wastes. So this is
Okay.
kind of interesting to see, you know, a priest of Gashkala, assuming that that's what he is here, but you know, many of the people that are in Xendrik have migrated from other lands. It's not a destination that's heavily populated like the rest of the continents. So it is truly a diverse city in that regard, but or a diverse continent in that regard, but it holds a lot of culture from other different places.
Nice.
Where all the odds and ends of Corvair end up.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the things that are here may become familiar to you and seem different at first, but you know, surprisingly, you know, you start to recognize some of the symbols that would associate with Gashkala, and you get the feeling that there may be like a clan of Gashkala orcs here.
Okay. Just an answer to his like concerns. I'll just tell him, we are travelers and carry our possessions with us, nothing more. It's like we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna draw weapons.
And Phelan at this point would probably make one of his packed weapon disappear and store his other katana into his bag of holding to show respect.
You would know that these Kashkala, they worship something called the Binding Flame. And some of you may be even familiar with that. It has a different name in other parts of the land. Parts of the land where you guys are from, it's probably known as the Silver Flame.
Oh,
Oh, yep, I'm familiar with it. Yep.
major religion.
Yeah, this is
There's not
basically
a
what they
name in the
believe
land that has heard this
Kalakshash
legend.
is. They believe Kalakshash is the Silver Flame.
So he's got like a connection to the god of magic too, or something like that.
Well, here, let me give you some more reference of the Silver Flame.
Yeah, there's probably better.
So the silver flame is essentially the whole kind of entity, right? I guess, and all the other gods are considered like sub branches, or not sub branches. What's the word I'm looking for?
That's
Anyways,
sub branches is a good word, and that's basically how I would describe it. Silver Flame would be top dog.
Oh,
right.
you mean like the Lord Ao of Eberron, like that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Over God. Okay, yeah, hitting it. There ain't no messing with him.
It's like the one above all.
Yeah, exactly like that.
And there is, an old story about, basically uh, a paladin who sacrificed herself to become the voice of the Silver Flame and seal Belshalor and Shadow and blah 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 blah. It's basically one of the myths of Eberron. More heavy lore dump. And Silver Flame also is, largely regarded as like a popular thing to worship. It's if you like by the Silver Flame, say, like people, you'll hear people say stuff like that. It's common. So to see it here is comforting,
Flame have a
especially.
church and priesthood, and does she grant spells? That's the only question all pertaining to it. I'm not. Maybe
Does
that
she
was.
have a church with a priesthood who would
Yeah,
grant
yeah, yeah.
spells? That's
Is
pretty
it like
broad.
is it
I would say
established
that's a definite
religion?
possibility. Yes, but
Oh,
it wouldn't be their main purpose.
Isn't is it Thrain that's very big on the Silver Flame religion?
Good deal. Thank you. I think someone asked about Thrain. Thrain,
Yeah.
Thrain,
Is it?
yes, would be one of the
Oh,
most popular places that this would be worshipped, but it's not the only place. It's really, like I said, all throughout the lands, as you could see it here, obviously being worshipped by these half-orc clans as something else noted as the Binding Flame, according to them. And they may have a different belief about, who is the bringer of that. As, in Thrain, it's a human paladin named. Um,
but I think Thrain is like
Tirabaran.
the they take it the religion to like a whole other level. Like there's no drinking, there's no gambling, there's because the Silver Flame's kind of against all that.
Yeah, anybody who would worship that religion would be that kind of a person for sure. So, not to say
they
it's
have this
exclusive to
listed here.
Thrain, because it's definitely not.
Hmm.
As you can see, it's here across the continent.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to derail there a bit.
Yes, we may be asking too many irrelevant questions.
Oh, this is all related to the Church of the Silver Frame. My wife came in the room and derailed me with the 50 different ornaments that she just bought from TJ Maxx. It was not
We
you.
knew that
That's
was
why I
coming.
had to regard her with disdain for 30 seconds, and then she said, "Okay, I'll leave you alone."
Well, we got closure on that one at least.
Tis the season.
Yeah, we have so many Christmas ornaments. It's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna buy another tree? That's not a good idea to say that either. I should be quiet. Well, from where we're at right now to, I don't know, Solitude is going to be joining us tonight, but I will do my best to act as if Solitude were here.
I won't judge your French accent. Don't
Well,
worry.
I probably won't try that too hard. My French accent is not good.
But I'm sure it's also not good.
It depends on whether you're finding it humorous, like laughing at me.
You did pretty good as that guy in the prison, as that guy who was from the same place Solitude was. You did pretty
Oh
good.
yeah.
No one's
Pretty good.
expecting you to do a good French accent, least of all me.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Madame Solitude.
See, good enough. It's
Sounds
gonna
just
have to
like
be.
him. Her.
I've spent enough time with Solitude. That's probably why.
Yeah, well, try that after a few paragraphs.
She'd say something to GMW like, "Enchanté, so happy you have joined us."
What?
GMW's been kind of like looking aloofly at the rest of the city, just amazed.
I was kind of leaning against a pew, deciding whether or not it would be a sin to light up in here.
GMW
Maybe stand outside.
is legendary. What brings you to this place from so far and so many different types of... Well, look at you all. How did you find one another?
We were thrust together in some unusual circumstances. We came here quite abruptly from how shall we say it, a unfortunate event. But yes, we too are here to seek refuge.
Yes, unfortunately, these circumstances now threaten all of Corvair, but we plan to do something about it. We just don't know what yet.
If you are looking for accommodations, seek your way across the canal. There is a fine place to stay. The Lizard House, it's known as. Talk to Drums. She is the owner of this establishment. She will take care of you if you tell her that I sent you.
Who did
Well,
you
thank
tell
you
us
for
his
your
name?
assistance.
Did we catch his name?
I am Father Oaken, the priest of Shalak Josh. He kind of makes like a gesture with his hand in the air, and you see something for a second glimmering there, almost like he made like a glyph in the air with his hand. And it's in the shape of a brilliant, like looking silver looking arrowhead. You could see a small flame flickering in the middle of it.
Who did he tell us to go see?
You said the owner of the establishment called the Lizard House. Her
Okay.
name was Drums. It's a cool name.
That was cool.
Wonder if she knows guitar and bass.
You're masters Xander's not here. I realized I should be taking notes.
Or a pirate captain.
It is incredibly insightful of you.
And the priest's name was Ogden?
Oaken, like open with a K
Okay.
instead of a P. All you seek is refuge? But how have you gotten here? You've come from so far away.
We wield magics. Various magics.
Magics, you say? You must tell me more of this, please, if you will.
We just came in the teleportation circle down by the river, and Zamiel points over his shoulder. We'd also noticed how it was unguarded and how the city seems conspicuously empty for its size. Could you perhaps share some information on the current happenings here?
It is the harvest right now. There are many hunters in the fields, out in the deep wilds recovering dragon shards.
Zamiel looks to the party.
Is this harvest welcome to foreigners and visitors?
But of course, a great storm has occurred, dropping many fresh and large dragon shards.
What dangers do these hunters expect to encounter?
Many dangers. There is creatures that have lived here longer than any other on this planet. Some say it belongs to them. We find ourselves to live in relative peace of them, which means that they don't destroy the city. But should we stumble into their environs in the wild, we are as fair game to them as this fruit is to me. And he pulls looks like a plum from his pocket, takes a bite of it. And then he turns, revealing, the side that he hasn't bitten into, and draws a small, what looks like a fanciful little blade. It's probably about 3 inches long. It looks like a paring knife to probably most of you. And he slices, just a small piece of the clean side of the fruit, and he hands it to the nearest by of you, which I think is Phelan.
Phelan will graciously accept.
It looks like I said, it looks like a plum, but it's kind of got a strange orange inside. You're not expecting that.
He will eat it.
Flavors burst into your mouth that are really unlike any fruit you've ever had before, and you feel like you're documenting new species of food in your mouth as we speak, or as you chew, I should say. but you find it to be quite delicious.
Quite good.
Not all things are terrible out there in the jungle. Like I said, there is treasures to be found amongst the hills out there.
How do other hunters treat each other when hunting for the shards?
Kindly.
Yes.
Though there's... Well, he means to say that Xantash is not without quarrel. But the priest kind of finds a way, as priests do, to divert from that subject. Not wanting to talk about these quarrels, and again kind of returns to the line of questioning, interested about how you've gotten here. And he continues to pry at that point, like wondering specifically how you may have gotten here. And he kind of asked this of Samuel, as Samuel was the one who responded to his last line of questioning in that regard. So he kind of probes deeper with Samuel and asks, "These magics, tell me more of them."
I mean, you did know about the teleportation circle in the city. I mean, is this secret? I'm not sure. It seems like it was almost on your temple's grounds, even. When was the last time anyone used that circle? Exactly.
A look of
And Zamiel's not really understanding
happiness
what's strange about it.
and surprise kind of washes over Hogan's face. I thought that's where you came from. The look of you, all so strange, all so different, all so foreign. You can't have come through the circle. That teleportation circle hasn't been activated in decades.
That would explain why there was no one there to greet us upon our arrival.
Yes, it would
There's,
seem the circle is still active.
there's few that know of it, and fewer less who know of its inscription to be able to call upon it. How did you come by this? Have you been here before?
It's funny enough, the only person who would know that isn't here.
Solitude know this information.
Solitude says that she's not been here before. A first for me.
So I'm going to say something, but correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, because I don't exactly remember. But I'm just asking this, just meta. Didn't we get this uh, teleportation circle like designation when we purchased the ship? Like when we initially got the teleportation commission, like wasn't that like didn't it come like as a package? Like you buy a teleportation circle and get 3 sigils free or something like that?
I think he got these, and I can't honestly remember how he got them, but I think he got them separately out of that. I think they came; these two places were like random things that he learned the teleportation location of these teleportation circles somehow, but I don't think it was through the ship because I'm pretty sure he paid big money with Belse to get that made, and I think you have to like have known of the place, have seen the place before, you know, like have seen the glyphs on the teleportation circle to be
All
able
the
to pull it
days
up.
for John not to be here. God damn it.
Lore Master, you're breaking my heart tonight. I just messaged him again, said you're dead to me, and I hope you're okay.
You're alive, Kate. Hi. Hi.
Yep.
You're dead to me.
That's the best combo ever.
Is it possible he could have acquired the portal's sigil combination from an ancient artifact or some other kind of inscription, permanent inscription
Solitude would
that was
probably
maybe
like
lost?
Solitude would play coy. She wouldn't answer its questions about where
Yeah.
she got it from. I can
Yeah,
say
she got
at
it from
least,
some stolen antiquity.
yeah. At least I don't think she might tell you guys, but she's not gonna probably give cards to this guy. So I
Yeah,
think she
fair
would
enough.
probably keep it pretty secret to herself. And for the most part, I think she would like give some kind of smart Solitude coy answer, which John is just so much better at doing than me.
Mhm. I was assuming it was some thievy reason myself, anyway.
She, you know, she wanted to have multiple ways out. I think was her original plan and plot for having these other places to call to.
Yeah, well, jumping a continent's a good way to do that.
Basically, trying to rack up as many destination points as she could. And she is a traveler of the world, so that's not surprising for Solitude. All right.
So Sin, I guess to give him an answer, she would say, "This destination was chosen as a way to elude our enemies. Those, if any, pursuing us from Corvair would seldom think to look in Xendrik."
Ah, then you are on the run. As I said, this is a place of peace. You will be safe here. And as you said, your enemies do not know you are here. That makes you doubly safe.
Well, we appreciate your hospitality.
I must tell Duthveldaren of this. He will be thrilled to know that the teleportation circle has been used by an outsider. Or perhaps not thrilled. His temper is unpredictable these days.
Is there a reason for his temper? Is there anything we can do to help?
He is frustrated. He has lost a great friend most recently. He has people looking for him, but he fears he has gotten into serious trouble. He has asked me to pray for him. His friend is one of his best hunters. They're Sandel. And I'm going to drop that name in the chat. Oh, that's caps. Now it's all lowercase. It's okay.
Is there any information on what may have happened to him?
I've only heard the rumors and what Duth has explained to me, but he went out missing. He went out investigating a secret cult operating in the area. Dooth has people looking for him, as I said, but he does fear that the worst has happened. It's been several weeks.
A cult, you say? Interesting.
What can you
When
tell
we
us
go
about
out,
this cult?
sorry.
I know little. You would need to ask Dooth of these things.
I see. Well, we will make inquiries about this missing hunter, your Sandal. Perhaps with other hunters once we come across them.
Are
I
you
have
hunters
magic.
yourselves?
Well, I can't say that officially we are, but we aspire to be.
I mean, I'm a hunter of men.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a I'm a
I know that you
bounty
know
hunter.
that.
Ah, that type of hunter.
There are several hunters of men on this continent. You are not alone. Few of them are also men as yourself.
What were you saying, Percy?
I have magic that can help locate people.
Hmm.
If it's possible for us to meet with Dooth, is it Dooth Valdarin? Perhaps I could be of some use to him.
That's a good thought. All we would need is some personal effects from the missing person, making tracking them much easier.
According to my spell, I need a bit of fur from a bloodhound. But yes.
Yeah, that's a kind of component that you can skip over with a focus.
Yes. I need to know more about Ursendel in order to track him.
Hopefully, somebody else can help us with that.
Dooth may have more information about this cult and their doings. I do not concern myself with such evils. I only know he is very concerned for his friend, and it is causing his temper to become unpredictable. I could arrange a meeting if you were interested in hunting down Ursendel. I'm sure that he would be interested, curious to hear what you had to say.
Percy looks questioningly at the party because she's not going to hunt this guy alone, but she's willing to help if you guys are interested.
Zamiel's a little worried about the cult connection, so his insight senses are tingling.
Well, my skill set's specialized towards this sort of thing, but I don't work for free.
But we would stand to gain from getting a favor from somebody in a different continent. We are in search of allies.
And in high positions of power.
Favors are nice and all, but I can't spend favors.
Well, we haven't talked to Dooth yet. We could ask what he would offer. Seems maybe a little insensitive, but worth a try.
I can only imagine the ruler of a port such as this would have many things to offer us.
I think we would like for you to set up the meeting.
Very well. It will take me some time. Seek out the lizard house and get yourself a room there. I will send for you.
Thank you. And she bows. Did he already tell us the direction of the lizard house?
I believe so.
In a couple of directions is
Okay.
better, so I'm hoping that it's not those directions.
He did tell you that is across the bridge, across the channel there, and I think he pointed in like this general direction where I'm putting this sphere. If you can't see
Okay.
the bridge I'm referring to, you're just heading
Okay,
across
cool.
that bridge, and the building directly on the left when you cross the bridge is the lizard house.
Okay, cool. Shall we make our way?
Yes, let's.
As we're walking, Sin is going to say to Bluey, "Was I foolish to tell him about our circumstance? I'm not versed in these type of interactions."
It is okay to share such secrets with the holy man, though he is not indebted to us in any way. Their morality is usually pure. At least, those that I have known that worship the silver flame. Though Solitude may disagree.
The half-orc,
Interesting.
the half-orc might be someone we might not want to spill our secrets to so readily.
Well, forgive me for misstepping then.
It is quite alright. Making mistakes is also a way to learn.
Yes, I have a lot of learning to do.
Stay close, friend. I think we will learn much on this day.
I see no harm in letting the temple know their circle is active. It's not like we're planning to invade them.
If anything, it might help
Right?
them if somebody else plans to invade.
Yes, help them defend.
The Lizard House. I hope its accommodations are more comfortable than the sound of its name, says Prince Orga.
Sounds kind of nice, like a sauna.
Oh, a sauna does sound nice.
That does sound like an exhibit at a zoo.
A bath sounds nice right now, says Orgap as he smells his armpit. That water was the closest thing I've had to one in quite some time. That jail
I
didn't.
can't imagine. Go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say the jail didn't have showers.
Zamiel says yes, I can confirm they did not. Thankfully, I know prestidigitation, so at least I was clean.
There's another nice snake over here.
I find their aesthetic quite pleasing.
Yes, it's quite nice at night, isn't it? Or sunset, whatever.
Seems a little intimidating, actually.
You see a lizard folk merchant as you guys pass by this next area with the other serpent statue wrapped around the pole there, kind of scary looking. But now you see a couple of actual lizard folk. Your first time seeing them as a race popping out here, and I think it strikes you as kind of like these two that are walking on the outskirts of this little platform he's standing on are some sort of bodyguards as they're sort of patrolling, and the merchant's kind of just busying himself with the several blankets that he has laid out with various what look like pieces of jewelry or ornaments of some kind, and some of them are just small little stones of various assortment. You can see that there's topazes, rubies, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, all sorts of small little rough gems about the size of a thumbnail.
Yeah, she'll nod to him as she walks by.
Valen's gonna pet this little cat in front of him.
As Singurin nods to him, you see the merchant sort of like cover up his wares slowly with one side of the blanket that's holding some of those rare rough gems, and he's not taking his eye off Singurin, but all the while scanning her as she walks.
Huh. Some weird customs they have in Xendrik. And she just keeps like ignorantly walking by, not taking notice.
You may find that the residents of this land do not want the stones and crystals of the earth to leave the continent, thus fall into the hands of outsiders.
Which is strange because they're at a port city where they're most likely to encounter outsiders.
Maybe they feel like that's the best place to defend their resources.
I also think that most of the people that travel here are not from outside of Xendrik, but from Stormreach itself, traveled around the continent to get here. At least as I understand from my study of their trade routes. My long conversations with Shiro.
I hope Shiro's okay. It's disturbing to think what is happening to our crew as we speak.
I hope the very same.
Have any of you taken to thought of what we will do after we get these shards?
They are
Well, I'm
incredibly
fairly
valuable.
certain Shiro will be expecting a rescue from us, at least an attempt.
And they may give us the means enough to buy a vessel to chase down the Ring of Fire.
Exactly. And
Gosh,
having the favor of this, I forget his name, will no doubt in helping us do that.
True.
skyship battle.
Oh my god.
Seems like the only choice, given that
Epic.
the circle doesn't work.
Did not see any airships in the port there, just water vessels. However, I am certain that airships come to Xendrik. But again, they are from Stormreach. Only flying over the land, never flying over the Thunder Sea.
I like how we just have a walking textbook in Bluey.
A vast font of knowledge.
I like it.
Bluey's really old though. Like Bluey's, well, you guys probably wouldn't know that, but yeah, Bluey's pretty old.
Yeah, we're taking having a permanent tour guide for granted.
Bluey, your extensive years have given you quite the bastion of knowledge. I envy you.
Yes, I'm starting to wonder if he's acquiring knowledge from other sources as well.
Warforged do not age. We simply accumulate.
This looks like another market.
I believe this is the Lizard House, Louis says, as he stands next to a building that has a small sign on it that has several geckos painted all over it. And a beautiful script that says the Lizard House.
Charming.
All right.
In common language.
And we must find this drums.
This is so badass.
And I was really hoping John was going to be here for this because some of you will recognize who Drum's bodyguard is. Here I am, says Drum, says almost as if she hears Bluey say this as he enters. Obviously she does. And who is that that's looking for me? A Warforged? I don't have any Warforged friends. Do I have Warforged friends, Olo? No, says Olo. I don't know you, friend. Might I ask why you're looking for me? She grabs the hilt of her blade, kind of readying it at her side. Not drawing it, but just readying it while still in its sheath to perhaps be drawn. And you could see her right hand slowly creeping down towards its handle.
Oaken sent us.
Oaken. Ah, he sends me many customers. Not so many as strange as you in his much multitude. Why has he sent you here? For a room? Food? Advice? Monster hunting?
Pretty much all of those.
Although, I like these friends. You're the kind of friends that make me money. Well, you're welcome. Welcome. She kind of takes her hand off of her saber. She gives you the look of someone that's wanted by maybe some people outside of these lands and is cautious of outsiders for that reason. You'll have to forgive my cautiousness. I have some people who call themselves friends but are actually backstabbing enemies. And those people have put quite a bit of big bounties on my head in these lands. And across all of Corvair, really.
Do you feel like that's a safe thing to tell strangers you just met?
Most people know that about me here. I figure you'll find out eventually.
Suppose it's better from you than someone else then.
That's what my ma always said. She laughs and smiles, taking an immediate liking to you. At least from the looks of it. Sit, sit. Have some food. There's buffets at here and there. My spread is your spread as long as you stay here. And we can negotiate prices for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 of you? Ah, a curious number to be traveling with, but who am I to judge, right, Olo? 9, says Olo. When he says this, it sounds, probably gruff and Neanderthalish, but when he says 9, he takes a moment to individually scan each of the 9 that have entered into the lizard house at this very moment. And feeling a little bit more comfortable with you, Drum steps forward and sits down at one of the seats. Olo, be friendly. They are guests. Get them something to drink. Says Olo as he walks towards one of the tables, grabbing a rather large pitcher of something and several cups, and bringing them over to the table that's nearest by you, beginning to pour the cups. He pours a single cup and holds it out in the direction of Gurren. You, drink.
I drink. As if like this is the custom. Yeah, and she'll kind of look at Bluey and she'll kind of take a sip.
Olo, you don't offer a drink to a lady this way. You ask her if she'd like a drink. Olo says, like drink. I'm sorry, I'm still teaching him common.
That's quite all right. I'm not used to this custom as well. But you ask a lady to take a drink. Right. Right.
Olo says something in Orcish to Drums, and Drums laughs at him and says, he likes you, to Gurren. Olo smiles, and you see his massive fangs revealed even further than they already were.
But he doesn't know me.
Olo's not hard to befriend.
As if curious herself.
Olo continues handing out cups until anybody who, well, except one, has one in their hands. And what lies left over is sets on the table.
I will eat to be respectful. And probably because Percy's really hungry.
So
Their
Jim
favorite.
W look down into the cup like, what is this?
Olo grog. You like? Olo says with like a look on his face that's expectant.
Jim W would take a hearty sip. Does it taste like it's high in alcohol?
When you say hearty sip, how long would you say you hold that mug up for?
Probably a second or two.
Okay.
Enough to get a full mouthful.
Roll a Constitution save.
Oh my god.
Second or two. I'm gonna say 2 seconds. Glug glug.
21.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty solid. You you like the taste that you feel in your mouth. It's kind of like It almost tastes like if someone has dumped moonshine into beer. You could taste that there's something hearty living in this alcohol, clearly, but it also gives you that nice warm feeling in your stomach, and it's got a sweet taste to it, unlike beer. It almost has like an apple-ish taste to it.
Ooh, and it doesn't burn going down. I'll have some of that.
Made from jungle, says Olo.
Say Jim Davy
This
go,
is-
woo! That's pretty damn good.
The establishment that you guys find yourself in is an old ruin that's been like remodeled to be basically a hotel, and it's surprisingly luxuriant. This would be like where outsiders would likely stay if they came here, and more interesting that our friend Drums would choose this as her place of business and host outsiders mostly, but she seems to be the most friendly to outsiders, as maybe she can fleece them. But she tells you it's a simple gold piece a night. That includes all amenities that the Lizard House has to offer, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and musical entertainment throughout the day.
I think Phelan will put down 4 pieces of gold.
Gurn will put down, like, kind of looking at him and kind of mimicking what he's doing. And she'll put down 2 pieces of gold for herself and Bluey. And I guess Prince Orgev also. So 3.
So
It's
by the time y'all have put down the
Jumbo
gold,
Thank you, Sinky.
go ahead.
Does
Louis nods in appreciation at Sinky.
I feel I owe you as much.
hang out with us?
What'd you say? Does Olo want to hang out with you guys?
Well, yeah. Does he seem like he's going to be here for a bit, hanging out with us?
Yeah, he's drinking with you, so he's not going anywhere. He seems to be warming up to the rest of you. He seemed a little bit cold and obviously defensive of his master there. But
I just want to step over to him, like on his side of the table, and ask him, "May I help you understand?" Understand us, like gesturing to the party, and what we say.
Olo looks slightly confused, then smiles his big fangs and says, "Drinking game?"
Now I'd be down for that.
Asking you if this is some kind of drinking game.
No. You are learning common, yes?
Common, yes.
I help?
You help, yes.
Okay. She's just gonna touch him and cast tongues on him so that he can understand everything that's spoken.
Mind blown.
After about 20 seconds, you do see that reaction on his face, too. It's as though a great door has been opened and suddenly a flood is just coming into his mind. And he's almost flabbergasted. I would assume that means he can communicate back relatively easily. I don't remember all of
It
that
says
stuff.
any creature that knows at least one language, we can hear what he says even if it's in a different language.
Oh, that's awesome. So he can speak in his tongue and basically roll it out in common. I love it.
Yes.
That's very cool. This is amazing. How did you do that?
It's just small magic. But it makes conversation more fun, yes?
Oh, small magic is what's in this grog. That is large magic.
Mercy just kind of laughs and goes, "Sir, That grog is large magic for a small one like me.
Be careful, my little friend. So,
And I'll say by the time the gold has been thrown down, GMW's already finished his cup and is reaching across the table to fill it up again.
Percy's gonna nudge hers towards GMW.
Well, double-fisted drinking is my style. So I fill my cup up and grab yours and take a sip from yours and then take a sip from mine. Yep, that's delicious.
Drums takes a seat in the corner that looks familiar to her. It's got a red velvet cushion on it that is worn in and looks like only Drums sits there. As she falls into it, she smiles and starts to smoke, watching the group having fun with Olo and listening to your guys' conversation closely as Olo asks, "So, where do you come from? Why have you come here of all places? Hunting dragon shards?"
I'm glancing at the people who were explaining earlier.
Come on now. You taught me how to speak. Don't leave me hanging here. He looks around at all of you. Everybody's gotten so quiet. Is it me? Is it me? He looks around, like, wondering if his newly found words... Am I talking too much?
Phelan will be like, what are you even saying? Just trying to screw with him.
Oh,
He looks around, wondering if everybody else is matching Phelan's expression, and he points at Phelan and he goes, "Ah!" And then looks to clink glasses with you.
I will clink my still full glass to him and then drain it.
Oh, it's been ages since we've had 9 people come in looking for a room. Usually just a single hunter, a monster hunter, or treasure hunter. But all of you? All of you so interesting. Especially that one. He points at Bluey. That's a Warforged, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't get too many of you here. We are not typically a traveling kind, says Bluey and nods respectfully. Sent here by the priest, eh? Lucky you found the temple first. If you say you came from outside the city, did you get here by ship?
She blurted out last time, like, send Goran looks at Bluey to see if he'll be talking about it.
Yes, we came here by ship, Bluey says, nodding.
Yes, we came here by ship. That's how we got here.
We have traveled from Stormreach and are looking for dragon shards, as you said. But as we arrived, we came across the temple and offered some prayers and conversation with your priest, who invited us here as a place of refuge for outsiders and travelers. Your accommodations and hospitality have been most comforting. But we also seek an audience with Duth Veldarin, the leader of this establishment. And the priest has kindly obliged us and offered to make acquaintance. We await his notice that it is time to meet Duth. Till then, We are here but for your entertainment, Bluey says, smiles and bows. Bluey begins to walk around the establishment, not obviously taking in any food, just sort of scanning the area, scanning the other inhabitants. But there does look to be a few people that mingle around and get food and drink, sit around and read from texts or write on scroll paper.
Zamiel's feeling hungry, so he makes a plate and busies himself eating for a while. We spent last
Sin
night
is gonna
on the video.
Then is going to sit next to Percy and ask her, why did he say that ladies don't get offered drinks?
I think what he was saying is you don't give a lady a drink, you ask her if she wants it.
But why would a lady not want a drink?
Doesn't make any sense
Zamiel
to me.
looks
She
over
seems
and-
like-
Zamiel looks over and says, now you're thinking like an orc.
Some cultures don't
And she's asking like very. You can see she's honestly wondering.
Some cultures don't feel it's appropriate for a lady to indulge in alcohol or get rowdy like, the men.
Or not everybody simply wants it. If you give me too much of that stuff and watch me cast a spell, it might blow every one of us up. Wouldn't be so funny then, would it?
Percy just
yes.
looks at your glass and is like, taking note, don't give him alcohol. Okay.
It is polite to ask for permission rather than force.
I understand. I will reflect upon this subtle difference.
Percy doesn't know that Singurin is like a day old. Have you not been offered drinks before with a choice?
Singurin does not find herself in bars often, Bluey offers as a bailout card.
Yes, I don't find myself in bars often.
She just copies exactly what he
Uses
says.
exactly what Bluey says. I love it.
Considering how we met, I suppose that's not surprising.
Is there anywhere to procure powerful magical items or weapons in the nearby area? Bluey says, asking around, sort of looking around at the group, asking, like, maybe sort of scanning to see if this registers any interest with anybody, as it looks like there's time to kill.
Shopping.
We boast some of the finest weaponry in our markets. You just need to know who to ask. I could set you up with a few private dealers that could come here. And Drum says this, and when she does, her hat is low, the brim is low, and it's kind of like dark in the area she's sitting. The chair she's sitting in is in a shadowy place, and she's smoking, and the ember just lights up her face, and you can see that there's that smile of ambition on her face that she saw when 9 of you walked into her establishment and said, "We're looking for all of the things that she sells here." Adding another to the list, one that she didn't even
I believe she
mention.
might have some connections, yeah.
Just tell me what you're looking for, and I'll have it brought here. One of the many
I
amenities
expect we'll
of the
pay for
Lizard
this
House.
convenience, but I thank you for the service.
If you wish to venture out into the markets on your own, find bargains of your own, you're in the right area of town already. You need only travel a little bit further towards the sea. And she points in the direction of what looks to be like a small bazaar standing behind you. And I kind of noted this when you guys were first teleported in. It's like only a couple permanent establishments. The rest are like shanty tents and tarps and stuff like that. Lots of what looks to be merchants and traders there.
Percy has everything she needs. You guys going shopping?
It might not hurt to peruse the wares. We could ask
Well, if this
about the
land is-
missing person.
Yes, it seems like there's some urgency in that matter.
Bluey offers up that he'll stay here and wait for word back from the priest about Duth, and Orgev, says I'll keep you company.
I think Percy would be interested in staying here, possibly. She would ask Drums, like, I know there's a lot of people out there right now in the jungle hunting dragon shards. If there's anybody who's been injured or taken ill, I'm a healer, I can help. If there's anyone in your inn or anybody who stops by, feel free to let me know.
There's a couple big bounties out for missing peoples. That Ursendil. Ugh. The amount of money that is being offered for him. I don't know if it's worth the risk. I always question that gruesome amount of money.
Percy looks directly at Garrett and raises an eyebrow.
As you look over to me, you see that I strike my cigarette, or a match to light my cigarette, and raise my head up, just where my eyes can be seen under my brim. What amount are we talking?
Oh, I didn't say, did I? 20,000 gold pieces. You must be selling an entire dragon shard for that.
Also on the list.
I kind of choke on the first puff. 20,000 for one person?
I suppose it makes sense. Ursendil makes him a lot of money.
Well, I'll be damned. We've definitely got to go after this fellow.
Yes, that is a rather convincing sum.
That's if you bring him back alive. Only half if he's dead.
Hell, 10,000 for a corpse.
It's quite a costly corpse.
That's still more than a lot of bounties I've taken for people who are still breathing.
Never made sense to me why corpses were cheaper. I mean, a living person can walk back to the destination. You have to carry a corpse. Harder work. Right, Olo? Olo just nods. Olo's looking very drunk. He's having a lot of fun. And even your spell may not help his common language right now. He's probably slurring his words a little bit.
Nice.
I generally find that when corpses are still living, they're willing to fight you.
Okay, this one sounds like it would be willing to come back.
That he does. And those are the best kind of bounty. She mentioned others.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be many looking for that kind of a sum. Though, it will only be the bravest. There are many monster hunters that live here, not just Urzendel. Many that are employed under Duke himself.
Well, I guess we'll just have to be better.
We could find a guide.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a guide that wouldn't want to take that reward money for himself, I think, but I could see if I could put the word out to a few reputable people I know here.
Zamiel looks at Percy and asks, and then looks back, and then asks if he knows anyone that knew of the missing person personally, or who might have any like personal possessions that came from the missing person, because Zamiel believes Percy was onto the right track with that.
These people are probably gonna more know like what the priest did, rumor and happenstance.
Yeah.
So for the pertinent information about what he had with him, how to find him, I think Duke's gonna be your best bet.
Okay, right. He did say that. That's true. I was just hoping that I'd get something more specific from this one in particular. It's okay. It's cool.
Always
Coveted
maximize
information.
the line of questioning with all NPCs. You do not have to apologize for that. It's a very good question.
Drums is just like, I have his handkerchief here. We just get up from the table and leave.
Right.
Hey, this smells awfully like Ursendel. Oh yeah, he left his hanky here when he was drinking.
Exactly.
Why
Never
not?
heard. Past.
Why
Right.
not? Why not? Ursendel, probably didn't spend too much time in the lizard house.
I was just gonna say we could ask for all the money he may have spent
Yeah.
and put it to use.
I touched that.
Don't wash that glass.
Well, it looks like we have options.
Drums also adds for a small finder fee, of course. After offering to help you guys find a guide or a bounty hunter who might take you out into the shard fields.
That's fair.
Well, hang on.
After the fact, if it pays off.
How big of a
don't
finder's
try to
fee are
kill
we
us.
talking?
On Ursendel? Oh, I can't provide you any sort of reward for him or expect you to split the reward you receive for turning him in. I was merely talking about for putting you in contact with a bounty hunter. Or a monster hunter who might know the area. A guide, if you will. A finder's fee, of course. A service fee. A small, pretty, she says, and tips her hat at you. You could tell that Drums is the kind of person who is always going to try and make money off you.
A trade of services, then.
Yes, knowledge for coin. And you suddenly realize why this outlaw in refuge would want to take advantage of outsiders.
How much is this fee?
Well, these kind of partnerships and relationships I've found are in great demand of, what is it called? Synergy? A proper forming of the relationship. If you don't like the guide, if they're not for you, I couldn't ask for a finder's fee, of course. Perhaps I arrange a meeting with a few different options, separate ones, so as not to insult the respective parties, and let you choose for yourself who you'd like to guide you. Starting to lay out like options like an agent. She's basically offering you like travel agent options.
I like this. This sounds great. Percy is for this. The more security, the better.
She seems organized.
She seems like she does this a lot, says Bluey quietly to Balin, and also like whispering this in an educational manner to Singerin.
Probably knows the locals much better than we do.
Would be our best way to get a lead.
And none of us have set foot on this continent. It's a really good way for us to avoid common dangers we don't know about.
Having a guide usually provides you a map too.
Maps are good.
Mm-hmm. Maps are very good, especially in the jungle. But again, these are uncharted lands, so it may not be so much a written map like you guys are used to, or a visual map, but more so, what's the word I'm looking for here? Milestones, so to speak. Someone who understands the important milestones that can help you navigate.
I don't have a lot of coins, so really, that choice is up to you guys.
I'm sorry, did she say how much she was going to be charging for this fee?
Usually, it kind of ranges for, an escort. And I think most of you guys as adventurers would know what a fair to decent price for something like this would be. Just, common knowledge. She tells you that she'll find you from, modest repute to squalid. Where, they absolutely, not professional, not good, cheapest you can get, but hey, he might know where some things are. Or this guy's gonna know where everything is. Maybe we'll help you around, show you around, and get you home safe. Which will probably be a little more costly. Somewhere around the 5 gold pieces per day to 4 gold pieces per day price.
Ooh.
All right, I think we
But
can
she
afford
said-
that.
Yeah.
Phelan
She said,
will... Go ahead. No, you go.
But she said we will get this price later, like once we meet the person, right?
They'll each have their own price.
Okay, yeah.
They'll range from like 1 silver piece to a couple gold pieces a day.
Phelan's counting gold in a separate pouch and is going to toss her 30 gold pieces. Will this suffice to start?
This will turn more than a few heads towards your task. And without really taking any more of your time away, she quickly heads out to the front of her establishment and says, "Oh no, you're in charge. And so articulate now.
Practice your customer service skills, she says as she walks out the door.
That's drunk. Oh no.
Welcome to Drumsburger, home of the Drumsburger.
Olo just looks like in fear that he's in charge. Olo is going to stop drinking now for a time, he says as he clinks cups with the last of you.
Olo, no one will know that you know how to speak. You can pretend, you know.
Oh.
He'll wink.
You don't think Drums will get mad?
Nah.
She won't know she's gone.
That's the spirit.
And I'm gonna step away just briefly, guys. Just give me a couple minutes. If you guys want to take a quick water break, drink break, I'll be back in just 4 or 5 minutes here.
Yeah, same here.
All right.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well, if we have a quick minute, do do you guys? What's the plan for the time being? You guys want to tackle the dragon shards or the missing person?
I think that they'll be like one and the same. I think if we track the missing person, we'll probably run into something with dragon shards because that's likely how he got caught in the first place.
Kind of what I was, thinking too. No, two birds with one stone.
I will say this, though, if we can acquire enough information, or especially, like Percy was saying, personal effect or something from the guy, then we can use magic to track him as well.
Yeah, I think that would be first on the list once we get to meet with the priest again.
Or meet with that guy. Meet with the guy that he wanted us to.
Yeah, I think that's similar. Yeah, and then what was the other thing?
I would like to buy something though. Like I would like to go shopping, get a magic item.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there might be some wares that might come in handy for jungle monsters and whatnot, right? So
Yep. I have nothing. What would one need to? What do you guys think we'll need?
Machetes.
antidotes, possibly.
Oh yeah, poison.
Bug repellent.
Antidote, venom even? I don't know. All the snakes everywhere is like freaking Percy out.
Yuan-Ti, if we do meet them, are I think quite prone to using poison.
One thing
that's
I hate
you know, 'cause
more.
I'm a prepared spellcaster, so I can prepare.
Yep.
Good idea.
Please do.
What is it? Greater. What is it when you cure poison?
Protection from poison or lesser restoration.
Restoration. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Did you guys already get magic items?
Yes, on
Yeah,
character
our
build.
characters are all pre-existing for the most part. Like
So,
pretty much everybody. So yeah, you should have started with some stuff too.
Couple
Mhm.
at this
Yeah,
level, a
magic
couple blues and some
Yeah,
some
we're
rares
based
and
on
uncommons.
money
would be-
too. I forget
Yeah.
what he said. He said like 800 gold.
Yeah,
and some items.
I don't think I don't have any magic items, so I need to get some.
800 gold, a couple blues, and a magic weapon. He said he'd be alright with seeing. However, I don't need to worry about it too much. My magic.
You can feel free to just add those to your character too, Brock.
No, yeah, I mean I got the money. I'll do it right. I'll do it right.
Yeah, just like retcon him in. You had him. Whatever. We haven't even fought yet. It's cool.
It's yet to be battle tested.
I have a feeling we will be fighting soon. Very soon.
Sounds like, doesn't it?
Whatever would give you that idea.
I have a feeling I will be healing very soon.
Indeed.
My blades seek blood.
Well, all I gotta say is try to be smart with your positioning, because I like AoE spells.
Well, yeah.
I guess I should
I know.
ask kind of what everyone's abilities or classes are. I kind of have maybe a rough idea, but
That
we gotta
might
do
be a
that
good
in roleplay,
idea.
brother.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta do that in
We
roleplay,
actually
brother.
talk about strategy before battle instead of during battle, so the DM has to listen to it and be like,
Yeah. Yep.
it's funny.
In this campaign, we have to role play all that stuff.
We we roleplay the shopping around these parts.
Yeah.
Four
Yeah.
4 hour shopping session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done those before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We had a tournament, and then the day before the tournament, we spent like 45 minutes playing it out, and we just did nothing of. We did none of that planning. Like it's just
Say,
getting to a point. No. We did a good part of it. Yeah, we did a good part of it actually. We actually did do a good part of it. Take that back.
Well, some of it
RP
had
shopping
that was that exceptional.
to
Just the rolls.
RP shopping to the ire of our DM.
No, actually, I watched this really cool video that someone from our Strahd group sent me. It says, the title of the video is hilarious. It's how to make shopping not suck. He's like, dude, I saw this and I thought of you immediately. And I was like, I don't know if I should take offense to that because he thinks that my shopping sucks, or if he just knows me well enough to know that I hate shopping so much. I think it's
You get a
hilarious.
magic item. You get a magic item. You get a magic item. There.
That makes shopping not suck for sure. That's for the players. I think for the DM is how this video is what it's for. But
Well, guess our meeting is postponed for now. Let Brady take the reins.
it sounded like some people were for the market. At least our friend Singurin has some items that she needs to procure to buff herself up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Being newborn and all, right?
Brand new babe.
Just a babe.
Good reason to have no items.
The doctor just slapped her on. Go ahead.
Seeing that Singurin is like the most interested in going to the market and that no one really else is, Bluey like immediately changes the tune of what he plans to do, and he's like, Singurin, I will accompany you to the market. Because he wants to make sure that he keeps a watchful eye on his friend Singurin.
Phelan will escort as well.
What is it that you're looking for?
My uncle told me that my abilities would be best suited with something that can increase their potency. Something that will increase the odds of my spells affecting my enemies.
She's looking like for a +1 focus, basically. And that's pretty much all I need. It's just like a +1 focus.
Girl, we gonna bling you up.
Bluey nods in agreement. He's like, yeah, you're gonna get more than a +1 focus. They did say that there are some rather rare and ornate items here. I think we should seek out any opportunity to find you something that may better equip yourself, Singurin. If a focus is what you desire, a focus is what we will find.
The battle's ahead.
I still do retain my father's fortune. The cost shouldn't be a problem.
The battles ahead will require you to be prepared.
I think the battles ahead are gonna require that I smoke afterwards, and I'm running low on tobacco, so I might go to the shops with you.
You're gonna have some fancy jungle tobacco.
I'm hoping to find something. I'm hoping to find something I've never smoked before.
That was funny. In Xendrik, that's what they call tobacco, huh?
Wacky
Shit,
tobacco.
So I don't know if you want GMW smoking that or not. I have you making con saves. You are now high as a kite.
Are you musically gifted? Says Bluey to Singurin, interested as they walk.
Yes, it was important for my father to imprint me with some type of musical ability. He seemed to prefer the lyre.
Perhaps we should stick to a traditional lyre for you then.
That would be most pleasing. What can you tell me of him?
He was a complicated
What kind of man was he?
One most twisted on the inside. But a more loyal friend I have never had.
He was complicated. I see. But you say he was a good man.
It was not long ago that I thought most certainly I had discovered what that word meant. Good. I believe it is all a matter of perspective. The time I spent with your father, he was a good man. However, others that I spent time with while with him often judged him as not so. Perspective, Louis says to Singurin, sort of like trying to teach her what the concept of perspective even is. And he explains this to her as such in a remedial fashion.
So, you can decide what is good and what is not good.
Correct. It is your choice what is good and what is not good. It is the choice of the perceiver.
I will keep this in mind, but I wish to be good as well, if that is something I can choose.
It is something you can, and it is something I believe you will be. Bluey nods at Singurin and puts his arm gently on her shoulder and says, "Come, let us find this lyre."
Yeah?
As he guides you outside of the lizard house. Are you going to market? Says Solitude to the rest of you as you leave, and she waves goodbye.
Stay and drink, Solitude. We will be back.
You don't have to tell me, Dwan. And she sort of tips back her cup and speaks that lovely French English that she speaks. Fringlish.
English.
Prince Orgev just shakes his head at Solitude and follows after her closely, a watchful eye on her. So like a friend would watch another friend while they're indulging too much. And with that, you all head towards the market, which is just down the steps outside of the establishment there, over by Mr. Bluey, who's over here for those of you who are looking.
Phelan will follow and pull out his flute and gently play a little song as he follows.
The GMW will pour himself another glass or cup before he gets up from the table and take it to go.
We need to get you an ever-flowing flask.
Or an ever-smoking cigarette.
And a billowing billowing cloak that looks like you're ruffled by the wind at all times.
I've never heard of any of these things, but I think I need all of them.
Bluey and Sigurd immediately start looking around what looks to be some sort of instrument shop. Although you'll have to forgive me, there's probably not too many instruments actually in the piles of stuff. Those fishes are actually musical harmonicas. Go ahead, put your mouth on it and see. Oh my god, the cough's still not gone. And
Phelan will pick up the star and hit it like a triangle.
Doing. You find that while these instruments don't look like the ones that you find in your traditional whereabouts, they can still make noises very similar to the ones that you're used to. And you can see that they're made with whatever implements they have, but there is a few lyres sitting in the corner. And there's got to be a shopkeeper nearby as Bluey ventures out to go find the shopkeeper. He kind of nods to Singurin to, peruse around.
Yeah, she'll do so, and she'll do so until the shopkeep comes back.
Bluey comes back with what looks to be a dwarven woman, and as they kind of walk back to the area of instruments, Bluey asks, "What is the price range of these here?" And pointing at the lyres and things in that area. "Ah, can you play?" And she picks up one of them and hands it to Singurin. Nodding at you, gesturing for you to play for them.
She'll say, "I shall certainly try." And yeah, she'll try to play a song that she can remember. And should I give you a performance check?
Yes, yep.
And that's why you don't describe first. You just say something
Just
generic.
say it. I'm gonna do this, you do it, and then you talk about how kick-ass it was when you roll a 22. Nice. That is, beautiful music flowing from the instrument, and she looks thrilled as she hears you start to play, and she starts clapping slowly, not to applaud you for your finish, but to urge you on and not to interrupt you. She stays almost silent as her hands pat together in rapid motion.
And I think Phelan will join in too with his flute and try to make you sound even better.
And it looks like she's just naturally gifted at it. Like it's a talent. Like it's not even something that she's practiced, but something that she just instinctively knows. Without even, like a dog, getting thrown in the water for the first time. It just knows how to swim. She just knows how to play.
We'll see how synergist your guys' music is together as Phelan sort of takes your beat or takes your melody and drops in.
Let's see what the dice say.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
You guys.
Look at those numbers even close together, like almost like in that fashion where it's just like one octave higher or lower than another to where you get that really harmonious sound like a choir. You know, Phelan and Singurin begin to make this song, and it is just, you could tell that the shopkeeper is so impressed with what's going on. She begins to sit down and like she's at a performance or a concert. She's literally knocked off of her feet. She takes a seat and just enjoys until you guys finish.
Yeah, Singer will look at Phelan and say, I knew there was something I liked about you. You are very talented.
And Phelan will bow deeply. Thank you. The music is one way to keep myself busy and not think of past fights.
I don't know much about this world, but I know that I don't know much about this world, but I was told that one was to seek beauty, and there is no such thing as beautiful as a song.
Phelan nods enthusiastically to that. Truer words have never been spoken.
How much for this? And she holds up the one that she's been playing.
The Volodny. It is a beautiful and rare piece of craftsmanship. But for you, the finest musician I have ever heard in my entire life. And she nods at Phelan as to say, she means this to both of you. I can offer a 50% discount on any of my stock. This instrument would cost you 250 gold pieces at that rate. She explains that it was made from the ancient runes, and it's inlaid with blood around the band. You could see, and as you take your hand off of it, you notice your hand has a little bit of blood on it. When you played,
Yeah, okay.
the sound of your music was sad, I'm gonna say. Okay? And I don't know if you normally play sad music, but something told you to play this song, you know, and the song that it played was just this very sad and sort of eerie but beautiful tone.
This lyre had a song already written on it. I simply brought it out.
You gave it life.
Yeah, and yeah, she'll give her the gold. You said 250?
Yep.
Okay.
And Brian, if you do not know how to make a custom item on D&D Beyond, let me know, because I have since learned how to do it, and it makes, you know, using it on your character in D&D Beyond all the simpler. But I'm just gonna send you what you just bought.
Okay.
Because she gave you the, you know, the antique shopkeeper's description. Once you bought it, she brought out the spec sheet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I do not know how to make it.
And yeah, we'll definitely be able to get it onto your character at least by the beginning of the next session for you with that information.
All right, cool. Nice.
Shopkeeper also thanks you graciously for making your purchase and asks the remainder of your friends if she can help them with anything.
Do you,
Yeah, sure.
GM, do you need anything?
Unless there's some tobacco leaves hidden between these instruments here.
We should find tobacco relatively easy to find here. We are a farming town after all. No, I've since tried to quit.
She smiles at you.
Well, I find that a nice smoke is the best way to relax.
Bluey's just mentioned to Singurin that he was impressed with her music, and that if she feels like she's properly outfitted, that they should probably return back to the
Yep, okay.
Lizard House.
Then we'll head back. Yes, sir, we'll head back. We will head back.
I don't know if you guys were taking a look at your inventories thinking, is there one more thing I need?
I'm trying to see.
Would there be anything that would maybe catch the eye or seem useful or going into the jungle?
You do see in that same particular shop one thing of interest. I don't know if it would necessarily seem like it would be directly useful, but you do see like a very interesting looking jug, and it has this strange green bubbling thick viscous liquid. You find it strange, there's no heat source underneath it or anything, and it doesn't seem hot to the touch. However, the liquid inside just bubbles.
What is it?
Never seen one of these before, have you? She puts both of her hands around it, like, while you're holding it or touching it. Not taking it from you, but holding it with you. And sort of explaining that it's an alchemy jug. And it can hold a variety of liquids. But it can also produce liquids.
I have heard of this.
And the nice thing is it has a sort of a need for a creative or performative mind So, as an entertainer, bards can use the jug to kind of like serve things, wine, beer, but in a pinch, suddenly maybe it becomes full of acid or poison or fresh water. And they find themselves stranded in a sticky situation. I love bards. It's about 12 pounds, regardless of whether it has liquid in it or not. It's usually just always the weight of the jug. The contents always seem to be weightless. And that's what that is. It's a pretty rare item, uncommon, I should say.
What is the cost?
A jug of this kind, I could let go for a mere 60 gold pieces. But for you, it would be 30, my friend.
Sounds like a deal.
Offering you that 50% discount awarded by your sick, nasty musical skills.
Yes, flute. That was a alchemy jug.
Yep. There's some other things, like you see some pretty interesting looking stones, gems, and crystals, and this shopkeeper doesn't seem to be like hoarding those away from you. But one thing you do notice is that she herself looks like an outsider. She's a dwarf, not obviously native to these lands, but you see an interesting looking stone amongst the stones that stands out too. And this might be helpful in the jungle. I did not look up items that would be helpful in the jungle, if you're wondering. But I think that this one might be. And it's like a interesting looking rock formation. You know those rocks that look dull on one side and then you flip it over and it's just beautiful, brilliant crystal-like structure on the inside. This kind of looks like that, except it's more like there's spikes of that coming out of it and pockets of that all around it. So it's an interesting looking like fossil-like crystal rock formation. It's beautiful. Really a beautiful, beautiful specimen. And if the shopkeeper sees you eyeing this, she would begin to explain that one of my most prized items in the shop, and it holds kind of a special place in the shop too. You can see it sits atop that glorious looking chest of hers, and it's got like a nice little blue plate underneath it, like holding it up. And she explains that it is a stone of controlling earth elementals, and that the stone itself can, basically create a creature from the earth, and that creature would be yours to command while it walked.
Very nice. Zamiel approves.
How much for that?
This I have traveled with from lands far and wide. I've never had anybody interested in it enough to ask the price. And it seems fateful that it should be you, a fellow musician, a fellow traveler. Do you plan to travel to great places?
Yes. Wherever my blades may take me.
You seem to have a playful nature about you. How about this? Since I like you, how about we play a game for it? If you win, you take it. It's yours for free, my gift to you. But if I win, I name my price. Whether or not you can pay it now or later, you pay it someday to me. The item is yours to take today, either way. Deal? The dwarf smiles and outstretches her hand.
It seems I would be a fool to refuse.
It is a rather lucrative deal, though I could name a price astronomical, could I not? As she grasps at your hand harder, seemingly locking in the deal to kind of rib you a little bit, like she could. You know, when you sign paperwork, people say, "Oh, you just signed your life away." But she says that the game she wants to play with you is just one of fate. Simple fate.
Yeah, the wizard was about to warn you that not all contracts need be written on paper.
A coin. Call it in the air. And she reveals that one side has like a leaf and the other has a seed.
I will call the seed.
Alright, I'm gonna do this in the chat so we can roll fate. You can feel that the fate was actually there. The seed is gonna be $10 or less. And the leaf will be 11 to 20.
Alright.
Alright. It lands on the seed side up. Ah, a bargain well struck, my friend. It is yours to take.
Let's go. Let's go.
And he will bow to her. Thank you.
It is I who owes you thanks for this beautiful musical rendition you have performed for me this day. One that I will never forget, and one that I will sing of myself hopefully someday.
I hope to hear your rendition.
You can see that
Someday.
she like blushes at this, like visibly like she wouldn't be able to live up to what you guys just performed. Smiling and wishing you well as you guys gather your final items. Taking some shrimp on the way out. Oh man, Zamiel looks cool. I just zoomed in on Zamiel's really, really red eyes.
He stared
Yeah, I
at you.
chose one of those colors. I was looking for some of them to paint my new guy. I couldn't find some of the cooler glowy ones.
They have a lot
We'll
of
see
options.
how cool he looks in Tailspire.
As we get back to the lizard house, you find that there is an interesting character there waiting with drums. And not unlike Olo, he's like a really brutish looking orc. Oh, or perhaps half orc. Hard to tell, to be honest. And you can see that Drums is looking pleased with herself, as though she's delivered in double time. And she introduces one of Dooth's most loyal guards, Eric, and explains that Eric's going to take you guys to see Dooth, and that Dooth is interested to hear what kind of services you can offer to find his friend.
and really that basically, like, you can see that there's some sort of like catch going on here, and Drum sort of explains he's pressed for time, so don't waste your time asking him lots of questions. You'll need to keep your questions limited, and you probably each will have a shot to ask him something, I'd say. So in that sense, you may want to plan what you're planning to ask him before meeting him even. And I know as things arise, certainly you can spin off that, but the gruff-looking orc tells you that you'll have basically 10 minutes with him. And I think how I'm going to do that is we'll have 10 minutes of actual game time. So he's like arranged, he's like a busy guy. He's arranged to see you for 10 minutes. So at the beginning of next session, we'll start a clock, and we'll give us some time to brainstorm a little bit, like before we meet him, if we're not rushing to go meet him right away. And then when we meet him, I'm gonna start like a timer, and you guys will have basically 10 minutes before you'll be ushered out. There'll be like a line full of people there to see him. You'll notice.
That's pretty cool.
This will be like
That's pretty cool.
his time to like meet people and hear about what's going on in the city, because I want to make it seem like he's a guy who's running the city, right? So he's obviously got other people to attend to and regimented in his nature, but that seems like it'll add a kind of a sense of urgency to figuring out all the things you possibly can for him, and also giving you guys more of like a targeted approach to what you're gonna ask him. I think you guys have some questions for him already. Mainly about his friend, but...
Yeah, we'll see how much he values his friendship with Ernstadel.
That's a pretty cool idea.
And without delay, this guy will, offer to take you there now. So we can end this session on that note and say that you're, planning on headed over there probably immediately, giving you guys some time at the beginning of next session to like figure out, like I said, hey, this is what we should start with, or let's ask him about if we can get a personal item of his, or whatever the things you wanted to do. That way you've got them ready and up front, top of mind. I think this will be funny. It should be an interesting kickoff to the beginning of the next session. I was hoping you guys would get to meet this character, and we just ran out of time.
Hopefully the others will be back next time too, and we can all talk to this guy together.
Yeah, I also am kind of glad that you all we'll meet him together. Well, hopefully, John will be back here. Yeah,
Hopefully.
I'm gonna send him a couple messages and let him know what happened, and we'll reconvene.